We like to think of ourselves as rational beings. We carefully weigh our options. We make logical choices. However, the truth is more complex. Our minds are full of hidden shortcuts, invisible forces that shape our thoughts and decisions. These forces are known as cognitive biases. These biases aren't inherently bad. They often help us navigate a complex world quickly and efficiently. However, these mental shortcuts can lead to systematic errors in our thinking. This can have a profound impact on our lives, influencing everything from our personal relationships to our financial decisions. Understanding these biases is the first step to making better decisions. By recognizing these hidden influences, we can start to think more clearly and make choices that are aligned with our true goals and values. Cognitive biases are mental shortcuts our brains use to simplify information processing. They are essentially rules of thumb that help us make sense of the world around us. These biases are often unconscious, operating below the level of our awareness. These biases arise from a variety of sources. Our upbringing, our culture, and our personal experiences all play a role in shaping these mental shortcuts. While they are often helpful in everyday life, they can also lead to predictable errors in judgment and decision-making. These errors can manifest in various ways. We might cling to information that confirms our existing beliefs. We might overestimate the likelihood of events that are easily recalled. By understanding these common biases, we can begin to identify their influence in our own lives. Our brains are incredibly complex organs. They process vast amounts of information every second. To manage this deluge of data, our brains have evolved efficient shortcuts. These shortcuts, known as heuristics, allow us to make quick judgments and decisions with minimal cognitive effort. While these heuristics are generally helpful, they can sometimes lead us astray. Cognitive biases are essentially side effects of these efficient mental processes. They arise when our brains apply shortcuts in situations where they are not appropriate, or when they lead to systematic errors in thinking. These biases are not a sign of weakness or irrationality. They are a natural consequence of having a brain that is wired for efficiency. By understanding the origins of these biases, we can approach them with curiosity rather than judgment. Confirmation bias is one of the most pervasive cognitive biases. It is the tendency to favor information that confirms our pre-existing beliefs. We readily accept information that aligns with our views. Conversely, we tend to question, dismiss, or ignore information that contradicts our beliefs. Imagine you're researching a new car to buy. You've always loved a specific brand. You're likely to seek out positive reviews of that brand's cars. You might even downplay negative reviews, seeing them as exceptions or outliers. This bias can have a significant impact on our decision-making. It can lead us to make choices based on incomplete or inaccurate information. It can also hinder our ability to learn and grow as we become less open to new ideas and perspectives. Anchoring bias refers to our tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive, even if it's irrelevant. This cognitive bias can shape our perceptions and decisions in ways we might not even realize. This initial information acts as an anchor, influencing our subsequent judgments and decisions. It sets a reference point that can be difficult to adjust away from, even when presented with new information. Think about negotiating the price of a used car. The initial price suggested by the seller can significantly impact the final agreed price. The seller might start with a high price, knowing that this will anchor your expectations. This initial price serves as an anchor, a starting point for the negotiation process. Even if you negotiate it down, your final offer might still be higher than if the seller had started with a lower price. This demonstrates the subtle yet powerful influence of anchoring bias. Anchoring bias can be surprisingly powerful, affecting our decisions in ways we might not immediately recognize. It can affect our decisions in a wide range of contexts, from salary negotiations to investment choices, and even everyday decisions like shopping. Being aware of this bias can help us make more objective decisions. Recognizing when anchoring might be at play is the first step in mitigating its effects. We can strive to gather information from multiple sources and avoid being swayed by initial impressions. By doing so, we can make more balanced and informed decisions. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut that leads us to judge the likelihood of an event based on how easily we can recall similar events. If we can easily think of examples of something happening, we tend to overestimate its probability. For example, after watching a news report about a shark attack, we might overestimate the likelihood of being attacked by a shark. This is because the vivid memory of the news report makes it easier to recall, even if shark attacks are statistically rare. This bias can influence our perceptions of risk and safety. It can also lead us to make decisions based on incomplete or biased information. To mitigate the impact of the availability heuristic, it's crucial to seek out objective data and consider a wider range of perspectives. Cognitive biases don't just affect our individual decision-making. They have far-reaching consequences for society as a whole. These biases can influence everything from our personal relationships to the workings of our institutions. In personal relationships, confirmation bias can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. We might misinterpret our partner's actions through the lens of our preconceived notions. In the workplace, anchoring bias can affect hiring decisions, with initial impressions disproportionately influencing the evaluation of candidates. On a broader scale, cognitive biases can contribute to social injustices and inequalities. For instance, the availability heuristic can fuel stereotypes and prejudices. If we are constantly exposed to negative portrayals of a certain group of people, we might overestimate the prevalence of negative characteristics within that group. Recognizing our own biases, a path to better decisions. The first step to overcoming cognitive biases is acknowledging their existence. We all have biases, whether we realize it or not. They are a natural part of being human, shaped by our experiences and environments. Recognizing our own biases is not about being perfect or eliminating them entirely. It's about understanding their presence. It's about becoming aware of their influence so we can make more informed choices, leading to better outcomes. One way to identify our biases is to pay attention to our emotional reactions. Emotions can be powerful indicators. When we encounter information that challenges our beliefs, we might feel defensive or uncomfortable. This is natural. This emotional response can be a sign that confirmation bias is at play, making us cling to our pre-existing beliefs. Another strategy is to seek out diverse perspectives. Engaging with different viewpoints can be enlightening. Surrounding ourselves with people who have different viewpoints can help us break free from our echo chambers, fostering growth. Engaging in respectful dialogue with those who hold different opinions can challenge our assumptions and broaden our understanding, leading to more balanced decisions. Challenging our assumptions, the key to overcoming bias. Once we've started to recognize our own biases, the next step is to challenge them. This is not an easy task, but it is crucial for personal growth and understanding. This involves questioning our assumptions, seeking out alternative explanations, and being open to the possibility that we might be wrong. It's about being curious and willing to explore different perspectives. One helpful technique is to play devil's advocate with ourselves. By doing this, we can better understand the strengths and weaknesses of our own arguments. When considering a decision, try to come up with as many reasons as possible why our initial instinct might be wrong. This can be a powerful way to uncover hidden biases. This exercise can help us identify potential flaws in our thinking and consider alternative viewpoints. It encourages a more critical and reflective approach to our beliefs. Another approach is to seek out information that contradicts our beliefs. This can be done by reading articles, books, or engaging in discussions with people who hold different views. While it can be uncomfortable to confront information that challenges our worldview, it's essential for overcoming confirmation bias. This discomfort is a sign of growth and learning. Actively seeking out dissenting opinions can help us develop a more balanced and nuanced perspective. It allows us to see the bigger picture and make more informed decisions. Mindfulness and critical thinking. Tools for a clearer mind. Mindfulness and critical thinking are essential tools for mitigating the influence of cognitive biases. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about becoming aware of our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without getting carried away by them. Practicing mindfulness can help us become more aware of our cognitive biases in action. When we're more mindful, we're less likely to be swayed by unconscious impulses and emotional reactions. This can help us make more thoughtful and rational decisions. Critical thinking complements mindfulness by providing us with the tools to evaluate information objectively. It involves questioning assumptions, identifying logical fallacies, and evaluating evidence. Developing strong critical thinking skills can help us identify and challenge our own biases, leading to more sound judgments. The journey to unbiased thinking, a lifelong pursuit. Overcoming cognitive biases is not a one-time achievement. It's an ongoing process that requires constant vigilance and self-reflection. As we encounter new situations and information, our brains will continue to rely on mental shortcuts. The key is to be aware of these shortcuts and to challenge them when necessary. The journey to unbiased thinking is a lifelong pursuit. It's a process of continuous learning and growth. As we become more aware of our own biases, we can start to make more conscious and deliberate choices. This allows us to live in greater alignment with our values and create a more just and equitable world.